Hey, good morning, Grand Rapids Montessori family, students, and community. Mr. Morse here with another day of Black History Month reading. It's the 26th of February today, so we are winding down with the end of Black History Month. We'll be wrapping up this showcase, this project here on the next couple days over the weekend. I just want to encourage you, though. Black history is something that you can study all year round. It's not just for the month of February. And it's very important to know a full spectrum of our history. Sometimes our textbooks or history books kind of leave out a lot of important figures. So that was kind of the reasoning why I wanted to do this video showcase this month. So I hope you've enjoyed it. Like I said, we'll still be doing it Saturday and Sunday this weekend. But I just hope I hope this encourages you to do some studying of underrepresented groups throughout the entire year. March is coming up. March is Women's History Month, so that's another opportunity to study an underrepresented group in our history, a group of women. So I just encourage you to really, push yourselves. I used to be a history teacher myself, so I'm really into this. And push yourself to do some of that reading and learning that you might not get just in the in the classroom, in the schoolhouse. Bring that home with you and expand that learning every day on your own. Okay, let's jump into it though. Today we're going to learn about poet Langston Hughes. He lived from 1902 to 1967. Langston moved around a lot as a child. His parents traveled looking for work, his father to Mexico and his mother throughout the Midwest. Langston was left to be raised by his grandmother, but felt abandoned by his parents. His only comforts were his books and the worlds he found inside them. Langston began writing early. In 8th grade, he was made class poet, and his first works were printed in the school's newspaper. In 1920, he went to visit his father. As the train crossed the Mississippi, he thought about the massive river, how Black history was linked to it. He thought about things his grandmother had told him, things he'd read in books about the slave trade, and he crafted one of his first major poems, The Negro Speaks of Rivers. He was only 17, but his voice had the wisdom of someone who saw the world for what it was. He asked the reader to consider humanity, not just black or white society. In 1921, the poem was published in The Crisis, a major publication of the Harlem Renaissance. Langston moved to New York to attend Columbia University and became a leading creative voice in the movement. Langston wrote about Black pride at a time long before anyone considered it something to celebrate. Heavily influenced by the blues and jazz, his poetry flowed and had rhythm. In 1923, he traveled abroad, settling for a while in Paris. Upon his return, he worked as a busboy in Washington, D.C. One day, one of his favorite writers, Vachel Lindsay, came in, and Langston slipped him some of his work. Vachel was impressed with Langston's poetry and helped him meet the right people. In 1926, Langston's first book of poems was published, The Weary Blues. He was the first black writer in the United States to make a living off of his work. He wrote plays and published short stories and made more than 16 volumes of poems. Langston used his writing to appeal to working class folks, focus on society and racial injustice, and portrayed black life in America. That's Langston Hughes, probably one of the most famous writers, one of the most famous voices out of the Harlem Renaissance, poet. I really hope that you look up some of his writing. It's really, really, really fantastic. I know some of our high school classes with Miss Gill read some stuff from Langston Hughes. So really, really fantastic. I hope you enjoyed today. We'll be back this weekend, Saturday and Sunday, to wrap up Black History Month. So make sure to tune in if you would. We'll post them on Facebook and email them out to teachers. But just want to say thank you, everybody. Have a great day and have a good weekend.